Hello everybody, welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Welcome back. It is transfer update time, episode number 17. Now the last one of these we did, I think was on Friday. And I kind of speculated that things would be quiet over the weekend and then business would pick up on Monday. And of course, at about 4 or 5 o'clock last night, a whole slew of transfers went through. So we've got a lot to talk about and some pretty big ones involving the parachute teams as well. We're going through championship transfers that are done deals, no rumours. I need to see the bloke there holding the shirt. And as ever, I source the fees from Transfermarkt just so we have them all coming from one place and there's some consistency. If you think you might know what an undisclosed fee is, do let me know in the comments, but please let me know your source. We do get lots of random myth transfer numbers perpetuated by fans of buying and selling clubs who definitely have their own narratives. There is the big one though, Callum Wilson out of Bournemouth. So a prized asset from a parachute club, £20 million we think for the 28-year-old forward. He joins up with Newcastle United, and that is the toggle on the striking position at Bournemouth last season. And you can see he was vastly responsible for a number of minutes there with Solanke and King, half and nearly a third of his game. So that is a big loss for Bournemouth. Obviously, they've banked £20 million. However, you have to replace the player, and this is a player who has indeed played for England, as you can see down the bottom there. 20 goals in the Championship in 14-15. And then look at that Premier League season in 18-19. 14 goals in 30 games. Superb. 7 last season as well. So probably a level too high for the Championship. Yes, the money's nice, but you have to go and retool. And when your main striker's gone, you need another striker in, don't you? Another player out, same deal as well. Bournemouth to Newcastle is Ryan Fraser, little winger who I know a lot about because we had him on loan at Ipswich. There was a bit of a sort of non-football-y story because Fraser was one of these players where the contract was expiring during lockdown who did not want to go ahead and sort of play outside of contract or do something short-term or something of that nature. And he hung up his boots on his Bournemouth career, and now he's gone off to Newcastle as well. Fraser, as I said, you can look down at the bottom there, 18 games on loan at Ipswich, so I know a lot about him. I don't know if we have left wingers and right wingers anymore because they just get switched from side to side, either orthodox or inverted. So we'll just call him a winger, but brilliant acceleration, brilliant pace and end product as well. Look at all of those games he's played in the Premier League. So a free transfer signing for Newcastle. They're looking at the Bournemouth outs now. Would you start to worry about the size of the clear out and possible chaos and too many moving parts here? Ake, Wilson, Ramsdale, Fraser, Defoe, Boric, Butcher, Sermon Francis, Daniels, Ibe, Smith, as well as Harry Wilson going back on a loan. So it's going to be a very much new look squad and a new manager in Jason Tyndall there. You hope they can cope with the chaos, let's just say. In terms of the buying club, selling club, player metric for Callum Wilson, buying club, it's a thumbs up. Selling club, it's a thumbs up for the price, but can you replace him? And for the player, it's Premier League football. In terms of Ryan Fraser, buying club, big thumbs up because it's a free, but we have to have a thumbs down for the selling club, Bournemouth losing Fraser on a free. Not good. And for the player, yes, Premier League football. Very nice too. Look at that. Derby's fullbacks from last season, Jayden Bogle and Max Lowe, have both joined Chris Wilder's Sheffield United. There's a quote there. Jayden and Max will put huge pressure on Baldock and Stevens. It was important we got the right characters, the right type of players, ones who are athletic and technically very good, both in modern day wing backs, and I'm looking forward to working with them there. As you can see, the famous Sheffield United 3-5-2, although I think who scored has got Basham and O'Connell on the wrong sides there, haven't they? But you can see Baldock and Stevens entrenched in that team there. Jayden Bogle, I really, really like. You can see their burst on the scene under Frank Lampard there. Look at his numbers for 18-19. 42 starts and a sub in the other game. And 9 assists and 2 goals. He really, really was good under Lampard. He had a period out injured, an adjustment to Cocu, but still 33 appearances last season. And look at that, a goal and 5 assists as well. 20 years old. Be under no illusions, this is the sweet side of the deal. Not being disparaging to Max Lowe, but there's some sense that maybe... if you took one, you had to take the other type deal might have been done here, because we look at Bogle and Matt Cash, who's gone out from Forest to Villa, and Jamal Lewis, who we're expecting to go from Norwich to Newcastle very soon. And that 13, 14, 15 million quid fee. We think this is 15 million quid for the both of us. Again, it's undisclosed. So we're thinking 12 or 13 for Bogle and maybe 2 or 3 for Max Lowe, who you can see there. 8 appearances, 3 appearances, and then last season 24. However, Scott Malone was there and Cocu didn't seem to fancy him. Craig Forsyth got an injury, so some sense that Lowe was maybe a reserve player going into that season and got his chance to make 24 appearances. As I say, without in any way wishing to be disparaging, there does seem to be some sense in this deal that it's a deal for Bogle where you take Lowe as well. I don't know. I could be totally wrong about that. And just looking at it as well, I just feel Bogle can put more pressure on Baldock than Lowe can on Stevens. But, hey, never doubt Chris Wilder, put it that way, is a rule certainly that's held fast over the past 3 or 4 years, certainly. There is the Derby defensive roster. As you can see, full-back wise, well, Wisdom can play right back. Forsyth at left back. I must admit, some of the young names, and there's one young name there that's that I've been told about that's missing, and I can't remember what it is. Taveric as well. Some idea that he could play over on the right-hand side. So maybe they need somebody in there at Derby, but they've banked the money. I think it's a pretty good deal all round for players buying clubs and selling clubs as well. I think Bogle will get more minutes than Lowe, and as a non-parachute team like Derby are, you have to cash in and retool. I'm sure they will. Ben Gibson, this was Friday night I think, joins Norwich City on loan from Burnley. Didn't work out for Gibson at Burnley at all. Interesting deal there. Look at that quote. This is from the Norwich website. The deal will become permanent should City gain promotion to the Premier League at the end of the 2021 campaign. I'm interested in that. I'd love to see the wording of that deal, if it is exactly that, because we've seen obligation to buy deals or first option deals. Certainly the first option type deal is the best deal you can get, because if it doesn't work out, then you don't have to take them. But we had this weird thing with Jean-Kevin Augustin at Leeds, where it was, if they go up, it's an obligation to buy. Doesn't seem to be the best deal for the signing club, because you just don't know if the player's going to be a bust or not. For example, Norwich took Jordan Rhodes on loan, didn't they? On loan, last time they went up, and the fans liked him, and Norwich got promoted. However, I think Stuart Webber wasn't interested in taking him full-time in the Premier League. So there are situations where a player does a decent job on loan, and then you don't need them going forward. So look, we'll see how this one plans out. Hopefully, if you're of a Norwich persuasion, then you'd want Gibson to do really well, promotion to happen, and then away you go. So there is Gibson's numbers. You can see a ton of games for Middlesbrough there, some loans into the bargain, and just I think it's 15 million quid he went to Burnley for as well. So definitely highly rated player. And just whatever happened there, better players ahead of him, or Sean Dyche not fancying him after signing him, didn't work out. So Norwich will hope they will retool. I like the player. I like the fact that it's a loan. I'm a bit confused about the if they go up, he signs. What happens if they don't and they want to sign him? What happens if they do go up and they don't want to sign him? What happens if he never kicks a ball? What happens if he gets injured? Maybe the wording is a bit more complex than is on the website there. So I'll procrastinate on my thumb up, thumbs down, because just that wording just confuses me slightly. But should be a good one. Looking at the Norwich just look absolutely stacked for players this season. Look at that. Aaron's Lewis, Godfrey, Quintia is new at fullback. Closer, Byram, Hanley, Gibson, Zimmerman, and then Matthew Dennis will likely be a squad player. You'd expect one or two of them to go out before the window closes, but they look stacked. So it looks like a good deal there. Speaking of centre-halves, here is Alfie Mawson, who has gone on loan from Fulham to Bristol City. There is Mawson's career path. You'll see he ended up in the Premier League with Fulham and relegated down to the Championship, and some sense that it didn't quite work out under Scott Parker. I was there at the early games and he and Ream were being asked to play out from the back. He looked a bit nervous. He didn't start the season particularly well, and you can see 27 appearances there. But as soon as Michael Hector came in, he came in earlier, didn't he? But he wasn't eligible to play until January. As soon as Hector came into the team, Mawson was done, wasn't he? And not required by Parker, and Hector and Ream made up the partnership. So, look, Mawson's a good player. Let's hope this is a bit of a rebirth for him at a new club there. I think it will work out. He's also joined by Steven Sessegnon on loan. Now, I'm less sure about Sessegnon as a player because you can see literally last season was a sort of breakthrough season. Only 11 games. And Scott Parker really unsure at right back last season. He tried Dennis Adoy. He brought Congolo on loan. He tried Steven Sessegnon as well. And Sessegnon did not finish the season in that position. So whereas Mawson comes in as a proven Championship player, Sessegnon, well, maybe unproven. We'll see. It looks like Dean Holden wants to play wing backs as well. So I'm undecided about that one. We'll see how that one goes. Was it similar to what we're saying about the Derby guys going to Sheffield United? If you take one, can you take the other, please? We'll give you one if you take both. I don't know. I'm speculating. Chris Brunt, indeed. I would assume he's got some kind of clause to go in as a coach or something, because Chris Brunt, 35 years old, played tons and tons of games and was at West Brom for ages, banging left foot. However, you would think he's not going to be making a huge difference to many Championship teams at his age now. You wouldn't expect him to be playing a massive amount of minutes. So I guess there's some plan to be a coach or something there. That is the 5 signings now in Chris Martin, Chris Brunt, Joe Williams, Alfie Mawson, Steven Sessegnon. I'll give Mawson a thumbs up. I'm not sure about Sessegnon, and I'm not sure about what Brunt's role actually is going to be there. And there's some worry now that they're throwing a lot of stuff at the Wolves staff-wise here at Bristol City. It could work out, but you've got Dean Holden, you've got the 2 England age representative coaches working with him. I think Ashley Williams is slated as a coach, and Chris Brunt is as well. Seems like there's a lot of would-be managers there, doesn't it? So, not sure, but I think Mawson will do well. And I know Baker's injured, but if you can work towards a back 3 eventually in the season of Baker, Mawson and Callas, that sounds very good. In the Championship, this is Stipe Pericare, if I'm pronouncing that right, who is a Croat striker who's coming from Udinese. So this is a Pozzo family special here. 25 years old, was in England with Chelsea. 6'4" imposing striker. I have to plead the fifth on this one. I do not know the player. I know that the Pozzos traditionally move players, but I think they've got 3 clubs, have they? Is it? I'm going to get this wrong now. Granada, Udinese, and Watford. And we often see players go between the 3. Similar thing with Forest and Olympiacos. and Marianakis, their owner there. We'll see what he does. I know he'd been loaned out. Does it say to where? I think he'd been loaned out to Belgium last season from Udinese. So let's see what he does in terms of buying club, selling club, player type thing. Well, buying club and selling club are owned by the same people. So it has to be a thumbs up for both because one party agrees with the other and they're the same party essentially. And I don't know the player. So let's see if he gets minutes. Certainly looks physically set to cope with the Championship, doesn't he? Here is Sheyi Ojo, who's back. We've seen him before in the Championship on loan from Liverpool to Cardiff City. Right-sided forward. So he joins Jordi Osei Tutu as well down that side of the pitch. We think Neil Harris is going to try and service Kiefer Moore with balls into the box and tricky wide plays. He's already got, obviously, Hoylett, Mendes Lang, players like that. Ojo is one of these guys who's been around for a while. The sort of Cameron Carter-Vickers, Luke Garbett, lots of loans type thing, Kieran Dowell. You can see there, if you get the 2017-18 version there, 22 appearances and 4 goals as Fulham got promoted. That looks nice. Played 19 games for Glasgow Rangers last season as well. Needs to now settle. Let's see if he can do that at Cardiff. It's a loan, so I guess Liverpool feel they don't particularly need him around, so that's fine for them. Cut wages. For Cardiff, it's a loan, so they haven't gambled. And for the player, he needs first-team football, so it's probably a thumbs up all around there. This is Pippa, a 22-year-old right-back, a Spanish player who's gone in from Espanyol to Huddersfield. It says undisclosed, transfer marked, are reporting 630,000. What does it say about him? Spain under 21, 13 appearances across La Liga in Europe last season. So, yeah, again, I don't know the player. I'm sure Carlos Corberon does. It's first or second signing, I think, possibly there. Huddersfield, like Fulham, couldn't get it sorted in the right-back position there. Ended the season, you can see, with Trevor Chalobah, who's clearly a central midfielder, playing at right-back. Had a Janaj, had a go, Dehaney, Bakuna covered as well. Danny Simpson in the main played the most. So looking for a more full-time right-back. And Pippa can be that player. Again, I'll have to plead the fifth because I don't know the player on this one. But they've spent money on him. So we would assume Corberon is pretty high on him. This is Isaac Izzy Davis, who came through the Chelsea Academy. He's 22. He'd been at Liverpool. He's done some loans. Similar profile to a lot of these players we see. Trained at a big club, moves to another big club, goes out on loan, and now trying to find his feet in the Championship. Attacking midfielder, so you'd think he'd get chances under Struber. We've seen Woodrow play in that position off Chaplin. So maybe he gets chances. I would think he would go in as a squad player initially and try and work his way into that team. But we will see there a free transfer. There's a familiar face. Danny Graham was at Blackburn last season, was a free agent, but I thought I'd throw him up in here. He's gone off to Sunderland, one of the all-time Championship top scorers indeed, Danny Graham. That is Ramadan Sopi, who has gone out to Egyptian side Pyramids, brilliantly named Egyptian team there, on a free. Undisclosed, getting him off the wage bill, I guess there. Huddersfield, these parachute teams always have the hangover of expensive Premier League players. Swansea have loaned Brandon Cooper out to Newport. They've just played in the Carabao Cup as well. And there is Patrick Gunnarsson. He heads out on loan from Brentford to Viborg. So quite the big update there. Let me know your thoughts on any of those players. As ever, like, comment, subscribe. Join our Fantasy League. First video coming up on Thursday on that with the Premier League season starting. T5Q BR0. If you don't want to look at my face, you can listen to all these shows on a podcast and you can support me here. Amazon.co.uk/shop/the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Buy a product over there and I get a little kickback. Patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. $3 tier, $5 tier there. You get some extra bang for your buck with the $5 tier. There's some extra bonus content. And if you're a small business or a fan sponsor, you can sponsor either the whole channel if you're a business or one of my series of shows here if you want to help out the channel. So it's really heating up in terms of the transfer window. More as we get it, but certainly some interesting ones there. Get your comments in. See you on the next video. Over and out.